Yeah, welcome back guys to my YouTube channel, and today we're going to be looking at working drawings, and we're going to look at how you can make working drawings from this building view here and actually make it to be buildable. So stay subscribed to my channel, and if you're not, please subscribe onto my YouTube channel so that you can be able to continue growing in our Archicad journey and become professionals together. So I'm going to be looking at working drawings, and we are going to look at the different elements that the working drawings contain. It's supposed to have dimensions, supposed to have grids, supposed to have annotations whereby you know what your finishes are and what your building materials are, and it's supposed to have some vector fields so you can see maybe if there's a tile finish, you can see where the tile finish is, it's located. So with that said, let me start with the easiest one first, because that's the dimensioning. We're going to dimensions our walls, then we're going to do the grids, and we're going to finish off with the vectors and the annotations. So that's all that entails a working drawing, and it's just as simple as that. So let me just go first. The dimensioning, let me select the walls. You can see I've selected the whole various walls, the whole external walls. So I'm going to the documents, annotations, and then automatic dimensioning, and then exterior dimensioning. So with that said, I'm going to make sure this one is checked, placing dimensions on all four sides, and then I'm going to press OK and just draw it on one side, and it will bring it to all the other four sides. So I'm just going to press it like this, and you can see it's going to bring something like this. But maybe this is not what you actually want, so you can just drag them and put them the way you want them to be. So let me just, first of all, let me suspend the groups, and then let me drag this one downwards to be a bit more closer so that it does not look far spread away. So let me just put it back like that. Then let's just leave this one because it's a repetition. Do the same for this other side. And see, let me just drag it here, and then do it for this one too, and then just delete the last one and do it for this wall too. Yeah, this one thing looks a bit busier, so that's how we're going to do it. So I'll just be dragging it out like this until it looks more better. Yeah, so do the same for the other the other sides, and I think it's okay like this. Maybe this one should be a bit closer to my walls, my structural walls, like this one, for example. Let me just take this one and drag it out to there, and then same for these, and same for these. Just gonna delete this one because it's a repetition. Now you can see we have finished the dimensions. We're just automatically dimensioned. So the next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be making the grids, and we're going to go to design and then the grid system, and then we're going to create the grids for our building. The grids mostly they come or they follow the structural members of our building, but you can see my building is actually a wall bearing building, so I'm going to align them with my load bearing walls. So to align them is going to be this area here, this area, and then finally the end point here, and then the middle point here too. So that said, I'm going to the grid position, and you can see it's going to be only 3 parts. So I'm going to remove the last one, and then this one, and then this one too, and then this one. So I think it's going to be there. Yeah. So with that said, now I'm going just to alter the grid spacing, and then we're going to drag it to be fitting the building extent. So let me first do that for everything. Yeah, so with that done, the elements I want them to appear on all the sides, and then with that said, now everything is okay. Let me press OK now. Just drag my grid to where it's supposed to be. Let me just make sure it's okay there. Now you can see my grid is going to appear, something like that. So with that said, I'm going to select the grid itself and go to the settings and make sure it's something that I want. For example, for the lines, I don't want it to be a full-blown line. I want it to be dashed. I want it to be black. So that's okay. Let me make sure it's in the home story and in one story up only here, so that it appears in the story 1 too. So with that said, the next thing is going to be the marker. I want it to be hexagon. I'm just going to change it from circle and make it a hexagon, and then with that said, I'm going to press OK. Yeah, and then you can see my grids are going to look like this. I'm just going to drag them out. First of all, I'm going to suspend the groups, then I'm going to drag them out to be in position for where I want it. See the edge of this load bearing wall, and the same thing for this other one too. Drag it to this one, edge of that too, and then the last one the same thing, drag it to the edge of that load bearing of the external wall, and the same for this one too. So yes, so exactly, so yeah, that's how things are. Then I'm going to do the same for the last one too here. It's just as simple as this for the grids. Yes, just make sure it's okay. Yeah, just make sure it's just where we want it. Yeah, so with that said, now we have our grids, and maybe they're just a bit too long. So let me see if I can alter that in my settings. Yeah, for example, yes, let me see. Yeah, that we just need to alter it manually. So I'm just going to drag it with the group still suspended. No, it's still, I think it's actually, yeah, it's suspended, and then I'm just going to drag it to be actually more closer to my project file. So do the same for this other one, the first dimension line. So we want it to be spread out. I'm just going to drag all of them out to be at the right position. So let me just continue. Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, with that done, now we have a plan that has all the grids and the dimensions. So the next thing, I'm just going to make sure all the dimensions are in black and white so that we don't have conflicting things. So let me just make sure everything is black, and let me make the lines black too. So let me go to the settings and make sure the lines are black as well, so that we have something that is uniform. Then we can press OK. So that should, oh, I don't actually select it first. Let me do that again and make sure everything is black. Yeah, so okay. Yes, so you can see now my dimensions and the grids are there. The next thing I want to do is I want to make my vector fields, or the fields for the tiling. To do that, I'm just going to go to my field. I'm going to select the cover field, and then I'm going to select the ones that I used. For my tiles are 30 by 30, so I'm going to now just magic wand them on where my tiles are. So there's somewhere here and there. So let me make sure everything is okay. Let me first just confirm if they are below my couch too. Yeah, so Control Z. Yeah, now you can see my tiling. Let me finish off with my somewhere here too. So now building is almost finished and my working drawings are almost complete. The only thing remaining is my annotations. So to annotate these, I'm just going to use my property manager and my auto text to name the different components of my building. So the first I'm going to name my walls, and I'm going to select the going first to my wall settings and see if they have the classifications ready for the naming here. So the description here, these are in the general ratings and classification. If you don't have the description yet, I already made it in my previous video where we were doing for sections, and I already described this wall. So I'm going to just put it out and press OK, and then I'm going to the property manager just to fix some spelling issues. So let me go to the description, and then I'm going to open the option settings, and then this one, and just drag it. Yeah, it's supposed to be here, stated color. Then I'm gonna press OK, and I'm gonna finish off like that. So with that done, I'm going to go to my label tool. I'm going to highlight the wall, and then I'm going to general description. Let me just look for the description here. Then I'm going to add it, and you can see it's going to remove the description of my wall. So I'm going to offset it so that it becomes a bit smaller like this, and then reduce the font to like 2. So let me make sure it's 2. Yeah, so with that done, now you can see my first annotation is there, and then I'm going to annotate the tiles next. I'm just going to take the label, highlight the tiles, and then open the text so that I can put the dimensions or the description. Yeah. So I'm going to add it, and see I already put the classification in the for the tiles. So I'm just going to offset it. And if you do not know how you can do it, I'm just going to show you with one thing before we close it. So let me reduce the font to B2. Yeah, so the next thing I want to maybe annotate is the slab, and the slab actually is covered by a lot of things, so it might not be easy to select. So I'm just going to drag it outwards a bit and then select it and then fix it later. So I'm going to my same thing, label tool, highlight my slab like that, and then maybe drag it backwards to be in this area here, and then I'm going to type it. I'm just going to come here to the description, and then I'm going to add. I already described my slab in the property manager, so I'm just going to offset it again and reduce the font so that it can make sense. So let me reduce it to 2. Yeah, so for those who don't know how I'm making these descriptions appear, I'm going to show you with that door. Yeah, for example, this door, I'm just going to select my door. First of all, let me go to the options, then the property manager, and then I'm going to this description set that I made. So for the option setup, I'm going to describe my door first before we continue. I know my doors are timber doors. They are like 60 mm thick, waxed with a glossy finish, waxed for a glossy finish. So glossy finish. Yeah, for a glossy finish. Yeah, so that done, I can now press OK, and then I'm going to make sure my description is available for the doors. So I'm just going to here the availability for classification, then edit it, and I'm going to go to the elements and go to the openings and click the doors open. So I'm going to press OK. Yeah, so that's it. I'm going to press OK now. Then I'm going to select the door and go to the settings and make sure the description of the door is the one that we want. So I'm going to the description here, the general ratings, and then the description, and then find the one that I've just made for my doors. So this one is the one. So I'm going to press OK. and then I'm just going to use my auto text to highlight my door. So I'm just going to highlight it like this, and maybe just drag it, maybe drag it somewhere here. I don't want them to be mixed up, so maybe I might not highlight that one. So maybe I can look for a door which is a bit more away from all the elements, maybe this door here. So I'm going to now take the classification, the same thing, and look for the type of description that I've just made for my door. So, and then timber door, yes, exactly. So I'm now going to the auto text, then I'm going to highlight the door and then do the same thing. Yeah, so I'm just going to annotate my door, going to there, double click, go to automatic, then auto text, the description. Yeah, I'm just going to add the description, then I'm going to click outside and now offset it so that it becomes a bit more compact like this, and then drag it downwards to be somewhere here, and then reduce the font. So that's how things are. I think that's mostly the basics of how you can make a working drawings plan. So as you can see, it looks like a drawing that you can actually build something from, apart from maybe the interior dimensions, which we can now just do it manually using the dimension tool. Make sure it's maybe a different color, let me say red, and then let's make this something different from the exterior ones, and then you can just draw it out manually. So something like this, draw it up to there and then up to here, then just drag it manually outside somewhere here, and then you can see, do the same for this other area, for my interior walls somewhere there, and then just drag it manually outwards, and then for the same wall here up to here, and then drag it manually outwards, something like that, and then maybe for this one too here. Let me just make sure it's a straight line, so it's supposed to be somewhere here. And let me see if it's going to be a straight line. Why has it done that one? So I'm just gonna, yeah, so I'm just gonna make sure it goes outwards like this. So that's what we want, something here. So with that done, now we can have a working drawing ready for submission to the contractor maybe, and to anybody else who's involved. But you can see the plan itself still has some furniture and things like that. So in my next video for detailing, I'm going to show you how you can actually show only the desired information to the different trades involved in building your house. So for example, the plumber might not need to see some of these things here. Maybe the tiles, the plumber does not need to see the tiles and the furniture of the sitting room, type of things like that. So we're going to make sure only the things that are needed by the people in the involved are only shown. So that's what we're going to do in the next video, and I hope you have learned something, some basic things about working drawings. So that's all you need to know about maybe the basics of working drawing. Let me just make sure my openings are also highlighted here, maybe, and then maybe just somewhere there, and then I can reduce maybe the font for this one to be 1 because it's a bit conflicting on my plan. So something like that. So you can see now my plan consists of annotations, some important annotations for the contractor, and how the plan itself in general looks like. So for the next video, stay subscribed so that you can be able to see how you can actually show particular information to the different trades involved in building your building. So thanks for watching and stay tuned.